All right, today we're diving into something truly massive, India's incredible high-wire act to build an AI future. And this isn't just a tech story, it's really a story about massive ambition, huge risks, and the monumental quest to lift up more than 1 billion people.
So this is the big one, right? This is the fundamental question. It's not just a technical puzzle, it's the core challenge for everyone in India, from policymakers to the folks starting new companies. It's about scale, it's about speed, and crucially, it's about safety, all wrapped up together.
And this image, it really captures that vision perfectly, doesn't it? A nation standing at this huge technological crossroads, getting ready to use AI to completely transform everything. From the way we do healthcare to how we build our cities, the scale of what they're trying to do, it's just mind-boggling.
Okay, so where does a journey this big even begin? Well, for that, we've got to rewind a bit, back to 2018. That's when the Indian government first laid out the groundwork with a simple but honestly an incredibly powerful idea, #AI for all.
And this didn't just happen overnight. It was a very deliberate process. It kind of kicked off in 2017 with a task force, but the real watershed moment was that 2018 national strategy. After that came a paper focused on doing AI responsibly. And boom, by 2023, India is suddenly playing a central role on the world stage.
But the mission here was always about more than just money or economic growth. The whole point was to solve real-world problems for real people, all under that banner of #AI for all. And check out that phrase, a garage for emerging economies. That's huge. It shows this was never just about India. It was about building a model that the rest of the developing world could potentially use.
So, you have this giant vision. Now what? You need a game plan, right? A playbook. And India's playbook was designed to do one thing, push the accelerator to the floor on AI development. Now, this is where the strategy gets really interesting. The government decided its job wasn't to actually build all the AI. Instead, its role was to be a facilitator, to create the perfect conditions for private companies, for entrepreneurs, to be the ones to innovate and build.
And how they do that? Well, they started teaming up with tech giants like Google. They actively encouraged private companies to just go for it, to experiment. They basically rolled out the welcome map, positioning India as a kind of playground for the global tech world by opening up access to critical data.
But the real centerpiece, the absolute core of this whole pro-innovation plan, is the idea of building a national AI stack. You can think of it like the digital highway system for the entire country's AI ambitions. And here it is. This is the blueprint. Now, I know it looks a little complicated, but just think about it in layers. At the very bottom, you've got the basic infrastructure, the cloud. Then you build on top of that with data and computing power. And at the very top, you have the layer where developers can actually build apps and tools. The whole thing is designed to be the one single foundation for pretty much every AI solution in the country. But look, going full throttle is only half the story. Any government, and especially India's, knows that when you're dealing with something this powerful, you have to think about the risks. It was time to start thinking about the brakes.
In the beginning, the approach to rules and regulations was super light. The thinking was, hey, let's not choke off innovation before it even gets started. So that responsible AI paper from 2021, it basically suggested a self-regulatory model, letting the industry lead.
This right here leads to one of the biggest, most difficult challenges in the entire field of artificial intelligence. What do you do when the machine gives you an answer, but you have no earthly idea how it got there?
This is what's known as the black box problem. As these AI systems get smarter and more complex, their internal logic gets murkier. The decision-making can become a complete mystery, sometimes even to the very people who designed them.
And this isn't just some abstract philosophical puzzle. We're talking about profound, real-world impacts. Think about it. Who's accountable when an AI messes up? How do we keep our data safe? And what about the risk of our own human biases getting baked into these systems, which could then deny people access to crucial services? These are serious questions.
So all of this brings us to where we are right now. India finds itself in this fascinating position of helping write the global rulebook for AI while it's still trying to nail down the details for itself back home.
And by 2023, India is absolutely at the head of the table in these global discussions. It's using its G20 presidency, it's hosting major AI summits, and it's really pushing this idea of a pro-innovation governance approach.
And this chart really breaks down the current strategy into 3 pillars, and man, you can just see the tension in every single one.
Take data. Massive opportunity with public data sets, but a huge risk of bias if local languages aren't represented. Or compute. The goal is to be self-sufficient, but the costs and the skilled labor shortage are just enormous. And with models, it's this constant debate between open source versus proprietary. Every single pillar is its own tightrope walk.
And if one quote could capture the recent shift in thinking, it's this one. After years of putting innovation first, the message is starting to change. It's becoming crystal clear that the guardrails are every bit as important as the accelerator.
So, in the end, we're right back where we started. India's on the world stage, helping to design the future of AI for everyone. But the biggest question of all is still the one it has to answer for itself. Can it pull off this great balancing act and build a system that's not just powerful, not just innovative, but one that is also safe, fair, and truly for all its people?